Okay, I'm going to say something. I'm just going to experiment with the video and put it out there. And what I'm going to say is if everybody, and let's stick with the UK, right? If everybody in the UK, and talking about what I basically understand in the last like 20 years, maybe longer, is if everybody in the UK was properly informed about politics and policy, no one would be voting for Conservative parties. No one would be. And when I say no one, to translate, is that there'd be a very few amount of people voting for Conservative if they knew the facts. And in the modern day, in the last 5 years, it's even more true with how toxic the Conservative parties are getting in the last 5 years. If people knew the facts now, with how horrible they're being, no one, and I usually go, no one on the planet would vote Conservative ever again if people were properly informed about politics. No one. And just to clarify, usually when people say no one, they don't mean literally no one. They mean very few people would be voting for Conservative if they knew the facts. And the only reason why people would be even thinking of voting Conservative is because they want to be fiscal conservative, and they want to save a little bit of money. They want the government to spend a little bit less to save a little bit of money. That's the only reason to vote Conservative. But if people were informed about politics, no one would be voting for Tories. No one would be voting for Reform. No one would be voting for Restore, and no one would be voting for the American Republicans. No one would be voting for them, guaranteed. And the only way that would change is if the Conservative parties started, competing with policy rather than propaganda and disinformation. So, and that's why the right wing, that's why Conservatives rely on propaganda a lot, is because they know without propaganda and disinformation, they know that the only reason why they win is because of ignorance. That's the only reason why people vote Conservative. Because political parties should be competing by policy, not by who can do the most corruption tendencies. So yeah, no, and it's like the left says, the more people get informed about politics, the more left-leaning they vote. And I just take it a step further by saying no one would be voting Conservative if everybody know the facts and everybody be informed about politics. We'd be seeing a shifting of vote between Green Party and Liberal Democrats if everybody followed politics properly in the modern day.